We had Tanya Zavialova as our guest. She is product designer at One Notary and founder at UX. We talked to her about the current situation of the UX community in Ukraine, but also what we can do to support it. Hi Tanya, nice to have you with us. We spoke last year, so the first question is, what has changed since last year? And if so, how?
If we talk about overall situation in Ukraine, last year when we spoke, everyone had high hopes on how Ukraine will progress and will kick out unwanted neighbors from our territories. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough weapons to support this movement. Therefore, our defenders have stuck, and and we had more Russian bombs coming on our cities. If we talk about overall Ukrainian design community, here situation is a bit different. We actually, we say we have, as a community, we have become stronger, and I feel it. We launched several internal initiatives to support the overall community mood, as well as to raise some funds for our defenders. Over the year, we have raised 6,800 euros. That is much bigger in hryvnias. And we transferred all those funds to our defenders. We already know about the book we published. It helped us a lot, and also we created some other initiatives like job list publishing, like internal library. We'll talk about those projects a bit more. I believe that most of Ukrainian designers have already created a robust workplace at home. So we have like at least 2 lines of internet, some external and internal power supplies, so we can stay productive whatever happens, and it gives some reassurance that we will stay online and we will endure whatever happens.
And how does it affect your daily work? What does a typical day as an UX professional look like today?
Yeah, for majority of Ukrainian professionals, we definitely have our daytime job, but we also have evening or morning time volunteering initiatives. For some of those, we help with social media posts. For some of those, we help to create websites and products that help Ukrainian army or Ukrainian volunteers or other of dozens of initiatives that are created every day in Ukraine to make sure that we have all the capacity and all the funds that we need.
So there are obviously a lot of challenges with this routine. What do you think are the biggest challenges?
I believe that one of the biggest challenges, not for me personally, but for community, is that due to those attacks, there are less non-military projects that are in development right now in Ukraine. Many have to cut their budgets because for the time people are in shelters, not every industry can work, and it influences profits. And also there are companies who withdraw their businesses from Ukraine, and it creates unbalance on the job market. So there are less jobs, and it comes with own challenges. But like what we see is that for the community, the jobs, the employment situation, one of the toughest challenges at the moment.
In terms of emotional or psychological stress, are there any systems in place, or do you talk about that? Are there any strategies to deal with this?
We raise those topics in communication. We also, during our meetups, we talk about psychological resilience. We talk about, like, there are many books you can read. There are many ways you can help others and help yourself. And we collect and share this information. We collect and share insights. We invite people who have a bit more expertise to share those insights. So yeah, psychological resilience is a very interesting topic, and people more invest into the psychological well-being, like meditation is a good one, having breaks, helping others, talking to others, communication is super critical when you are in tough situations.
And just for the UX community in Ukraine right now, what are your biggest challenges as a community? What do you need?
As a community, we are currently to support, because not everyone can travel as easily as we used to. Even COVID, COVID was, I would say, the alert number one when when we realized that online communication is important and we need tools. And as a community, we started uh, developing our YouTube channel at that moment. So we understood that not everyone can join meetups, not everyone can be present for the overall duration. So we have started with a YouTube channel. Now we added other services, like whenever people want to talk. Oh, no, I'm with you. Just remembered one thing. So as a community, we understood the need for online communication. While ago, COVID was the first alert, and where we realized that we need to find a way to communicate outside of meetups, outside of offline meetups. So we created a chat where people can just find a person, randomly assigned person to talk to on design topic. And it was super popular during COVID, and it is still popular. To it, we have added our YouTube channel, so people who were not able to attend our meetups can watch our talks online afterwards, and we see huge success in there. We also realize that people need a sense of being part of something bigger. So within our community, we also run fundraisers. Uh, Talking about the job situation, we also launch our own job board, so we can help companies and people meet faster. And actually, our community channel is one of the tools that employers are super interested in, because they can see how particular person behaves in a community before hiring a person. It is like a good assurance that this person would be a great employee afterwards. We also have launched a library of where community members from different cities can order a paper book. It is less expensive than buying the actual book. They only pay for the delivery cost. We also launched a mentorship platform, so people who need advice, they can find a mentor. It is, yeah, similar to ADP list, but it is local, and you have Ukrainian designers there. Many people agree to work on this platform uh, and be paid as a donation to Ukrainian to support Ukrainian defenders. So it's also a great initiative. Yeah, we constantly look for new opportunities also for user research, since there is no platform to find specifically Ukrainian users. We launched on a research platform, so people who just learn to run user research can find someone to talk to in community. We also believe that there are many connections that can be found, many interesting users can be found through the community. Like, for example, you are looking for a pharmacy worker, and mom of other community member can be.
And how can the UX community, as in Germany, support the UX community in Ukraine right now?
Thank you for asking. I would say number one is whenever you have a project and you want to hire, consider hiring someone from Ukraine or someone in Ukraine. It is super important for overall industry to have jobs, to have steady income, so we can support ourselves and also support our defenders. As a number one, it is a number one. The number two, I would say, whenever you have Ukrainian colleague working next to you, take them out, help them with socializing, because being away from home and for such a lengthy period, like almost 2 years now, it is super tough. And many people just don't show they toughen up, they endure, but they would really appreciate your effort and your touch. What else? If you're ready to donate, there is a number of Ukrainian initiatives you can support. Out of those trusted ones, Come Back Alive. It is they help military. They help buying necessary arms. There is a Call Help Fund. It is a charity organization created by our IT community. It helps our defenders. There is a fund that is called Azov One. It is the charity organization that supports one of the biggest military organizations in Ukraine. If you want to support non-military initiatives, there is a fund called Tabletочки. It helps children with cancer because unfortunately, when war starts, cancer doesn't go away and children need help. And also there is an organization that is called Animals, uanimals.org. It helps animals who suffer because of war. They help to evacuate tigers and lions from war zone and move them to Europe. They also help smaller animals, and they give those animals a chance to survive.
Touched on the specific resources or knowledge we can benefit from each other. Is there anything you want to elaborate?
I would say the notion about sharing information about cultures. So if we talk about resources, 10 years ago when traveling to Europe, I saw a gap in knowledge and process maturities between countries. Now, due to e-learning capabilities, I see that processes in many countries, they are pretty similar. But if we talk about soft skills, if we talk about blending in with cultures, with work ethics, it is super important that we know about ourselves and the countries we come to. Like there are many Ukrainians who can work remotely, but to work better and to have better work relationships, we need to know about the culture we come to work with. And therefore, it would be super great if you can share some information about your culture, about your work ethic, and your work expectations. It is actually true for any expat community, but now I see a tremendous value in it, even if we work remotely without moving to another country. And also, in my opinion, it gives people who share about their culture a new perspective on their culture as well. They can understand themselves better and build better relationships with everyone around.
Are there any other ways we can support the UX community in Ukraine right now?
I believe we can do mentorship. like for people from Ukraine who want to work with Germany or who came to Germany and already works there and look for advice, it would be great if we can find mentors specifically for working with Germany, and same with other countries. Will be super beneficial. We can run common initiatives like the books that we have created for Ukrainian community. We can create such books that will show some specific aspects of even of those industries I named before, or some interesting initiatives that can be run within our communities, and also to find common touch points, so we can publish something together. We can run meetups together as a possible opportunity. We can actually share job postings. What else? Fundraisers, I already mentioned. So there are many opportunities, I believe, also for user research. I know that sometimes people who work for Germany here in Ukraine, they sometimes run user studies, and they would like to have your perspective on things, on products they create, and it would be a great joint initiative. So there are there are so many ideas, and our community is great in generating ideas. There was a good question about is there something that international community that we would like to share with international community to understand our situation better. And for me, it is super important because whenever I travel, I see that not every person has understanding of how language is important, or how a background of company you work with is important. And recently there was a situation where I was checking into a German hotel, and it had super nice user interface, and at the end this hotel, realizing that I'm from Ukraine, decided to say thank you in Russian. And for me, thank you in Russian, it is like I don't feel it like a nice gesture, but more like a gesture of aggression. Because where I see Russian flags now, I see those when bombs are falling on my city. And I realized that actually we are, as UX professionals, working on projects, on international projects, where there are some regional smaller countries, and we don't have time to invest into developing something in their language, but we can use a kind of a regional default. Those regional default can be perceived differently from what we intend to do. It can trigger not the best emotions and people on the other side of the screen. Therefore, I would suggest, if we are talking about default, either go for super international default, that is English, or at least stick to the language that was chosen when the person was interacting with your interface, and be mindful, because Ukraine is not unique in this sense. There are many countries with local conflicts, and you can trigger not the best associations with your users, and yeah, you can imagine how it can go. And another thing is, whenever you choose product or a partner to work with, be mindful of where this product or company comes from and where they pay taxes, because those taxes can be paid to actually terrorize others, and it's not what you want.
Thank you so much. So, is there a final message you want to send out to our audience?
I would like to say that we as user experience professionals, we have to be aware that our profession makes sense in a prospering post-industrial societies where basic needs are met and people can allow themselves to invest in making the world around us better. Whenever a crisis comes, there is a big chance that people will default to basic needs like food, like safety and shelter. And it is super important to support democracies because democracies can give us this prospering community. And yeah, basically to support our profession and our lifestyles, we have to be aware that we have to be on the side of democracy. That's my message. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya, for being our guest today. We are always impressed by you and the UX community in Ukraine, and we will take the many tips with us and put them into practice. We wish you all the best and look forward to hearing from you very soon. Bye bye.